Hi, I'm Dr. Kristie Buckland.
And I'm Dr. Lloyd Nackley. And for the past 4 years, we've been developing a drone-based research and extension program to support growers and demonstrate the potential application for drones in horticulture.
Farming is a fast-paced business where time is a valuable resource. Often we measure production costs on farms in terms of fertilizers, herbs, seed, and fuel costs. But one of the biggest driving factors on farm is the time and attention of the growers. Let's face it, if the process takes too much grower time and energy, the new technology is never going to be implemented.
At the same time, growers want information faster and in more detail than ever. So think about it. Tractors now have GPS control guidance systems. There's precision irrigation that can water automatically when the crops need it. And there's even machines that can identify the quality and harvest fruit automatically. So aerial imagery, like drones, is another major tool to be adopted on regional farms. And we're here to support that adoption by providing experience, examples, and resources to our producers. Before adopting a drone program, it's essential to first and foremost understand that drones are tools and not a solution. And what I mean by that is a drone does not solve the problem itself. Like other forms of ag tech, they're a tool that changes the way that work is done, but it still requires a lot of effort and a new kind of expertise. Hey Kristie, we've been calling them drones, but that's not the whole story, is it?
That's right. Like GPS, walkie-talkies, or Jeeps, drones were developed for military uses originally. We tend to use the word drone, but in reality, what we're really talking about is the system as a whole. A more accurate term for this might be a remotely piloted aerial system or an unmanned aerial system. Let's have a look.
On our drone, we have the Red Edge camera imaging system, which is actually 5 cameras in one, and it captures images in the visible spectrum, but also near infrared. We also have the FLIR Duo, which has 2 cameras in one. One camera that's high definition visual, RGB, but also one that can sense infrared.
This might look awesome and expensive because it is.
There's not only a steep startup in equipment and cost, but the learning and technical skills that you need to operate the drone and analyze the data can be very time consuming.
Yeah, I agree. Often the resource on farms that is the shortest supply is time and labor. Operating a drone on farm has to make sense with the bottom line and the available time.
We've put together 2 main ideas that can help a farm decide if a drone program is a good fit for them. 1, define the goal of the drone on your farm. And 2, decide what equipment for the drone you'll need.
As with most programs, it's helpful to start with setting clear goals. First and foremost, you need to determine what you would like to accomplish with your drone scouting program. The most important step of adopting any new type of technology is to identify what production problems you have and how the technology will help you improve your farm operation.
Farm challenge. You might want to see how well your cover crop established in the fall. The fields might be too muddy to get out there and investigate. So a drone can be used with an RGB camera and some stitching software to fly over and see the evenness of the cover crop pattern. Your farm might be challenged with poor crop growth in some of your field areas.
Farm challenge. Maybe you need help demonstrating your research trial impacts to stakeholders. Use the drone to change your perspective. Record field activities for visible or infrared differences that you can use in your extension talks, presentations, or publications. Use a combination of RGB and infrared videos, still images, to really drive home to the stakeholders those impacts that will be seen on their farms.
The second major thing to consider is what's your budget for the equipment options. So selecting a drone to purchase has 2 main considerations: the platform and the camera or other payload options. So quadcopters, like the one that we have on our research farm, are recommended because they're easy to fly, they can take off vertically and hover, and they're relatively expensive, but that can mean a lot, a few $1,000s. On the other hand, you have fixed-winged remote-controlled aircrafts, and these look more like miniature airplanes. They're more difficult to pilot, especially in the wind, but they can have longer flight times because of their ability to glide.
For our field scouting work, we use both a forward-facing camera to see where the aircraft is going and a downward-facing camera to photograph the crops. We focus on using our multispectral and infrared camera for field scouting to detect disease or water stress. These cameras capture wavelengths that can be useful in understanding plant health. The images are then used to calculate index values that we can display as a color-coded image that helps to identify plants or parts of the field that need attention.
I think that we've all experienced one fast way to encourage adoption of new practices with our stakeholders is to show them the results of field trials.
So I challenge you with this. What's the value of a change in perspective? That's really what we're talking about here. Drones are just a different way to look at the same problems on farms. Is adopting a new tool worth it? As Extension personnel, we have the opportunity to be a huge resource to help growers adopt new technologies, change their perspective in some way, like using drones on their farm.